Andy Morahan here.
Who's that?
Thank you, Mike Jefferies, the producer and writer.
Very nice to be here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's terrific. Now, this is quite an interesting scene to put together because it involves real footage and from the World Cup and stuff that we shot with some of our actors and special effects and stuff like that. So integrate two games, a Mexican game and an England game.
That never took place.
So
basically to try and simulate a World Cup final between England and Mexico.
That's right.
Which only ever happened in a movie, frankly.
It only ever happened in a movie. And
it's Leo,
Gregory, bicycle kick, spectacular.
Took 470 takes to do that.
Who's the Mexican guy?
It looks like Rio Ferdinand.
Anyway, so we also, it's a chance to, get a first look of our guys in, so we establish right from the beginning of the movie that they're, football players and part of the England squad.
And then, of course, Kuno falls to his knees there as Mexico has sunk and have effectively lost the World Cup final, and England lift the trophy, as unfortunately they could only ever do in a film. And there we reveal that what we've just been watching is, in fact, just a TV commercial to highlight the up-and-coming World Cup.
And the deceit of England winning it.
Unfortunately.
It's a great twist. It's a twist right at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. It's unfortunately not a flash forward or flashback from what will happen at the end of the film, but nevertheless.
That's what I love about movies.
And that World Cup's now sitting on my mantelpiece.
Is it?
Yeah, made by our wonderful production designer, who appears in the film later on as a Bucharest boiler.
Oh, well, he told me we had the real thing. Who's that girl?
I don't know, I think you cast her, didn't you? You always seem to disappear into casting sessions with females.
So here we...
This is the first day of principal photography, and here we're meeting Nick Ashworth, played by Nick Moran.
And we hadn't really met him up to that point, which was quite interesting. We always wanted him to do it, but hadn't actually met him, talked to him on the phone.
It was a bit worrying, because he didn't come to rehearsals, and I think I met him like an hour before the scene, and he looked as though he'd been up all night and unshaven and a bit smelly, but he brushed up pretty well.
Didn't he turn up in Simon Jordan's Ferrari as well?
He did, absolutely.
Which was kind of interesting.
3 or 4 girls hanging out the back of it.
Yeah.
He's not married, is he?
I don't know.
It's not much longer.
Not for much longer. But it was quite interesting because JJ and him had just done a film together, so they obviously knew each other. JJ Feild is playing Liam. So there was an immediate kind of, connection and chemistry.
Well, it had been a gay film, the one that they'd been in before.
I was trying not to mention it.
You chose your words very carefully there, no doubt, Andy.
Yes, I was trying to be diplomatic. But now the gloves are off.
Yes, and Nick's now here telling JJ to go off and have a bit of a relax and shag some of the most beautiful women on earth, as Piers Ashworth, my co-writer, I remember came up with that immortal line.
Did he?
Yeah.
What about Giselle's been hassling for my number?
That was mine, yes.
That's good.
You had a few. I'm sure that. Here comes Leo Gregory.
Yep.
Charlie Braithwaite, just announcing that he's been cast as a movie star, which is heralding a left turn for our film to take in a few minutes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here you've seen Kuno, before, but it's the first time we've seen these two new characters, kind of English football players who are now on the fringes of the World Cup squad, waiting to hear if they're in the World Cup. And then here, Liam's just found out that he's been cut from Real Madrid.
His contract's not been renewed. Originally, the temp score for here was the Scorpions. Charles Berry laid down some real grungy music.
That was terrible, wasn't it? Yeah, it was not so good. It's better now. Mark Thomas got hold of it.
In fact, this was the very first scene we shot in the entire film.
Absolutely.
In Nottingham.
Meant
to be a cafeteria somewhere in Germany, or not Germany.
No, it was a TV studio in Spain. That's where they were shooting the commercial. Right. Yeah.
Hence them wearing the Real Madrid.
That's exactly that.
Tracksuits.
Yeah.
And the implication is that all 3 of them play for Real Madrid together,
which is discussed here, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the kind of idea that they're not getting any younger, and this could be their last shot at the World Cup, and So it kind of sets the scene as the kind of three, the buddy movie side of it.
3 lines.
Yeah. And
Kuno, of course, playing Santiago here, is asking them whether they'd ever settle down, because they're talking about women and drinking and all things that footballers in university seem to do other than play football.
but suddenly, Liam gets interested, doesn't he? He's like, "Where's this Hollywood epic going to be shot then?" And we're coming.
Yeah, dreams of Hollywood, or
Well, I like the analogy with Vinnie Jones.
Yeah, and of course the reveal here is that he's not signed on for a Hollywood epic at all. It's some C-list movie in Transylvania or somewhere, and they're flown in not by private jet but by some Romanian.
Well, what's really interesting is, these days people go to Romania to shoot stuff that looks like anywhere in the world, because it's a kind of low-cost production centre. I think I'm the first director ever to shoot Nottingham for Romania, which normally doesn't happen.
Well, it's a great testimony to our locations director to have found so many locations in this next sort of 10-minute sequence outside Nottingham that could easily and do pass for Romania.
Now this is one of our favourite scenes.
That's our production designer, Russell de Rosario, playing the Bucharest boiler.
Yeah, the bearded lady.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those occasions where someone says, "No, I don't really want to do it," and then loves doing it.
Yeah. This is where Andy's background as doing all the Guns N' Roses videos came into its own, as he decided to make this C-list movie about vampirettes about to devour Charlie Braithwaite's character.
And we came up with the immortal title, I think Russell did, didn't he, for this spoof film we're just about to see, called Frightened of Crosses.
You'll see on the clapperboard, directed by Mike Hunt.
Yes, we should register that name.
This is Charlie basically very excited. He's got a trailer, and there's a big corridor of trailers there, but in fact he's got a little baby caravan, which is not even the one in the foreground, out of which tumble a couple of little people. But
he's further down the pecking order.
I just love the way JJ keeps laughing at the glamour of
filmmaking.
Yeah.
It really takes the wind out of yourselves. It's beautifully acted, actually. I remember the guys really didn't need very much direction. They really got it. It was fantastic.
On a serious note here, this is where we start to see a little of the makeup behind JJ's character.
Yeah.
Liam, and his, I guess, kind of alcoholism, which is going to be his character's arc.
And then suddenly...
Reading Screen International, how funny was that?
Suddenly, bang, we see...
The most beautiful woman in the world.
Yes.
Beautifully shot by Mr. and lit by Mr. George Tiffin, with lots of pinks.
Yeah, it's it's the first time you see her on screen. I mean, it's classic kind of film star lighting of kind of with a nod to the classics of previous yesteryear Technicolor. That's where the kind of pinks come in. But Kasia Smutniaku plays Sophia.
You'd worked with her on a few.
On a few commercials. Yeah.
This is our good friend Ori Pfeffer playing the mad director.
Yep.
Who.
He's a friend of yours.
Quite mad, isn't he?
He's a friend of yours.
Friend of mine from Los Angeles, yeah, and I just couldn't think of anybody more perfect.
But she really lights up the screen, I think, and then you put the mad director in there who sticks his arse at Charlie's face.
Yeah.
It's a funny little scene, a great introduction to her and Ori. It's fantastic.
And gives them a nice connection.
Yeah, it does.
Because she's quite clearly pissed off with the director, and
that's right.
Charlie's now a little enamoured, and they bond.
But already, within the first 10, 15 minutes, we've introduced most of the characters, and we know what's kind of going on with them, which is, get straight to the point, which I think is fantastic. Yeah, and she's so sexy.
She's gorgeous. Unfortunately, I went to Los Angeles to cast the female lead and spent a week casting lots of actresses, and came back and met her on the way up to Nottingham to show you tapes, and kind of lamented my lot having to spend a week in Hollywood meeting beautiful actresses.
Yeah, it was really tough for you, Mike.
Yeah, what a waste of time. I like the way Leo just taps those little guys on the shoulders. And
He's
says,
suddenly become mates with them, isn't he?
"You're right."
Yeah. It's really sweet.
Yeah.
He's, go on.
Expressing it, how much he's very impressed by meeting Sofia Tardelli.
Absolutely.
But then, of course, the conversation turns to Liam. Where is he?
Do you like the no smoking sign in Romanian? Russell de Rosario special.
The attention to detail there.
This is where Romania, I think, really comes
Look
into
at
its
that.
own.
That's
I mean,
Nottingham.
that's a back arse of a farm in Nottingham, which is fantastic. Well, of course, we added all the donkey carts and stuff like that, but pretty much it was there.
Yeah. Freezing cold day, wasn't it?
And this also, I think, is a great, whereas we've seen Leo playing football in that kind of stylised trailer at the beginning, now you can actually see
That he can play.
He can play. He can play football, and he can juggle and keep you up like the best of them.
Very impressive. He was very happy, of course. And that's, of course, the moment where Sophia sees that he's actually got some substance and loves little kids.
Talking of which, the midgets are in the background again.
You cut quite a bit out of that scene, unfortunately.
I did, and it was so funny, but it just got ridiculous. It kind of lost the point of what the scene was, which is kind of this.
The arrival of most beautiful girl in the world.
Yeah.
All in slow motion.
Look at that. Years of commercials. But I mean, it was a real joy to work with a bunch of actors who were so natural, in a way. They all kind of gorgeous and cute in themselves. But I mean, they're good actors, but they're very natural. They make a scene like this, feel like a real conversation.
Although this scene was at hell, if you remember, because we were in such a confined space and trying to.
I think it was like day 2 or 3, and we were running late, and the crew
the
were all.
script supervisor was yelling at you.
And she was saying, we're on a 6-day week. Anyway, so after the final day on the farm of Romania, we did this mad scene where Liam's asleep, having got pissed, but we literally had farmyard animals and goats in the background, which you actually can't see because they all bolted.
And the implication is obviously he's just gone off and got absolutely trolleyed on some turpentine or.
Well, I think by now, you as you say, the kind of subtext of Liam's journey, which is, the fact he's a drinker and a footballer, and that's
Goes on.
It goes on, from, we all know of players who've done that.
Well, part of getting JJ to come on board was I had to promise him that we'd write that arc into his character.
Yeah, absolutely.
To give him some substance and not just to be another, one-dimensional footballer.
Totally. So she says, get some sleep there, which really means I want to shag you, probably. It's the subtext, anyway.
We just, I guess, had the conversation about why do you play for England, which was quite funny.
But, this is a matey two-shot, like mates. And this was the day they nearly fucking kicked the shit out of each other. They hated each other so much.
I thought we were going to mention that.
Well, we can mention it in that context.
Here's the next day.
Sorry, do you want to go back?
No, I'm quite happy to let the record show. And, of course, Liam's just pissing himself at Charlie's get-up. And we're about to see in a few minutes exactly what costume designer our director came up with. Did you pull that from your wardrobe, your personal collection?
Oh, absolutely. You know how into S&M I am.
And this really now goes to your background of rock videos, particularly Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses, Meatloaf, all that stuff.
November Rain on some cheesy set in Transylvania.
Well, we made it so cheesy that we even had kind of fake, fire effects in the background and hanging bats. That was the other thing.
Yeah.
Russell bought a box load of rubber bats.
It's funny how on this particular day we had more visitors to set than any other.
Absolutely.
Probably nothing to do with the 50 or so half-naked girls that we're about to see.
Well, I was thinking...
I love that.
It kind of... he refers to Vinnie Jones. I never saw Vinnie Jones doing that, which is... I love the way that all kind of follows.
Where did you get this idea of the two little people like that?
Well, because it's a bad vampire movie.
She's actually really laughing, that Kasia. She's genuinely having a bit of a giggle.
Yeah, I mean, look at that wig. You can see how synthetic it is. It's brilliant.
Have you actually made any videos like this as bad as this?
I've tried. But I mean, it is a nod to that kind of.
Some great
80s.
ad-libbing here from Ori.
Yeah.
She's just rolls her eyes at his direction, which never happened to you.
But I love it when he says, "Little people, get big." Genius ad lib.
Totally bloody great. Here we go. Push in and then pull back.
Come out and back or something. No, but I mean, this is a nod to in the kind of 70s and 80s.
Frightened of crosses. There we go.
There you go, frightened of crosses. But the 70s and 80s, people used to, every time you had a kind of dream fantasy sequence in a music video, you had midgets in it.
Like Saxon and back in the days, Judas Priest.
Absolutely. So we just kind of went the whole hog.
Actually, we actually did this to a different piece of music, didn't we?
We did it to Carmina Burana, the Carl Orff thing. They wanted a fortune for it. We actually found a better piece of music. It was just as theatrical, I think. It looked fantastic. But I mean, Cressida, the wardrobe girl, just had a field day with this stuff. She'd kind of been to all the places, they do all that kind of zip up.
Of course she had, bless her.
Oh, she loved it.
Well,
She said, yes, I bought 32 pairs of thigh-high white boots.
Well, I think Leo got through quite a few of these vampires, actually.
I think he did. That's Russell's attempt at a bejeweled dagger. It didn't come out quite as I imagined it, but it's almost funny. Look at the mallet.
Look at the mallet.
Absolutely fantastic.
Where is that mallet now?
I don't know where that mallet is. Russell's probably got it.
Did you see the terror of the little person looking at her?
Yeah.
The original line here is, "What the fuck you do?" Which,
Yes, we had to take that out.
Well, we can only have one fuck in the entire film, and the PG-13.
But Leo was a good sport. I mean, for any actor to put that gear on, do you know what I mean? And actually kind of expose themselves to ridicule.
What are you talking about? He nicked it, took it home.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Like a dog on heat, wasn't he?
That was I didn't say that. That was Andy. And there, of course, he's Laurie's stomping off the set as his production. Have you had any moments like that yourself directing films?
Stomping off?
Yeah.
No, on commercials I have.
Thrown a fit.
Oh, completely.
Kicked over the chair.
Look, Newcastle.
Yeah. Here we are.
The stadium.
The stadium, St James Park. Actually, not raining for once, which was.
It looks quite glamorous.
Right. And Nick's here trying to get JJ a new contract.
Yeah. And another actor, John Salthouse, has been in The Bill and other films.
Great
Bridge
actor,
Too
isn't
Far.
he?
Great actor, yeah.
Joy to work with.
Yeah. And he has a football background, which is interesting. He used to play for Crystal Palace. And
the timing here, I just love the way that these two guys interact.
Yeah. Well, as I said to somebody, he's the longest serving Newcastle manager in the last 10 years. So here we are in the, Transylvanian restaurant.
They're out celebrating, aren't they? Having wrapped for the day of their wonderful movie.
This is where we find out that Liam's gone back to Newcastle.
Yeah, just Nick's called him and told him the good news.
So,
and of course, being the drinker, he picks up the champagne bottle and totally inappropriately starts drinking the whole thing from the bottle.
Yeah, if you don't know he's got a drink problem by this stage.
You do now. And here's, of course, that famous line from Nick Ashworth. What time do you call this? Does that line ever work? Which I think he uses 2 or 3 times in the film.
He does. He's one of those annoying characters who keeps trying to chat up women with the most obvious chat up lines which never work. Which kind of endears you to him. He does it really well, Nick.
And this, of course, is June, played by Anya Lahiri, who you and I both fell in love with on the first moment we saw her.
She's fantastic, yeah.
We just had her back for 3 or 4 callbacks just because we wanted to.
Didn't you take her to the pub and, she had 7 pints of lager? She told me she never drinks lager, so she obviously wanted the part.
Yeah. Oh, bless her. And then you showed up to meet her for the first time.
I did,
and she was holding herself up against the wall. Talk us through this next bit, Andy.
Well, here we basically shot this late at night, and it was pissing with rain. And so the entire crew, even though we've covered the trailer where we're towing the car, we're absolutely soaked. They're nice and warm inside. But the idea was, we wanted to, shoot. It's a moment between Sophia and Charlie for the first time, and then and just when you think things are kind of settled down and happy, and wow, it's a car crash, and we wanted to do that in a way we didn't spend half the budget shooting it. So,
but I think you did it to such an effect that every time I've seen it with an audience, and in fact, with our group putting the film together, everybody flinches.
Yeah. Well, that's, cut to black and you hear it is an effective way of doing it. And I actually think it's more effective, funny enough. So here we are.
We're here in Pikey Hospital.
Pikey Hospital in Romania. Again, Nottingham.
You would not want to be, I don't think, if you'd just been in an accident like that.
Which is kind of half the point. We try to we actually found this is like an old kind of cleared out medical centre of, the old Carlton Studios, and which is now part of the university. And
did you hear the rumour that Leo actually stayed up all night, just the night before they shot this scene, just to try and get into character and make himself look dreadful?
That wasn't a rumour, matey. That happened. I think he was quite clever, really, wasn't he? He literally had, that's part of his method. But he was terrific. It was good. It worked for him.
These two boys are so good together.
They are. There's an immediate chemistry between them, and they got on great, which always helps.
They loved each other. They've become two best friends, haven't they?
Yeah.
Which is, and that's Kuno. There's some good outtakes on the dialogue between JJ and Leo on
like when he jumps on the bed and starts shagging him.
He's out the World Cup. Oh, thank God for that. They might have a chance of winning it now.
Now, this was some incinerator on an RAF base near Nottingham as well, which we thought was perfect for the exterior of a Romanian hospital. We got very creative, actually. And the nurses with headscarves smoking cigarettes.
Tell us about this shot, because this is a very complicated shot.
Well, basically, we were behind, this kind of shot that really works well on cinema, because it's kind of, you can have them in Leo in the background in focus, Charlie, and then he comes over to Kuno, Santiago, and it's sometimes in TV people don't hold on wide shots and let the action play, but on something on a movie you can let that happen, and it's really nice to do that. And this is where he's finding out about not being in the World Cup.
Yeah, and he's very, very good here. Kuno's very good at crying.
He is good at emotional stuff, and I'm glad. I remember we put this scene in. It wasn't in the original thing, and it gives him a beat, I think, early in the film.
Yeah,
and actually kind of explains his disappointment. You know what I mean? So I think that's it. I think it really worked out well, this thing.
Yeah.
And of course, you've had the nice moment before of Charlie, cuddling up to Sophia in the back of the car before the crash.
There's the tear going down the
he did that well.
cheek.
He did that well. And so, of course, now when she has come down from recovery and they see each other, this is the love moment, isn't it?
Yeah, this is where they find love.
They do.
There's not much else you can say. Not only have they survived death, but they've found love in so doing.
Well, I think that makes it stronger. The fact that they nearly lost something they could have. You know what I mean? It gives it more depth and more strength. And I think they played it really well too. These two, it's really easy, I think, to do this kind of stuff badly from actors, if you know what I mean. But they
great direction.
Oh, shut up! It's always. And here they are, Liam and
Nick back in Newcastle.
There you go.
About to do the signing and ceremony of becoming a Newcastle player again.
Yeah, and this is where you put one of your anti-Chelsea lines in, which typical from a Scouser.
Hey, listen, if you got Tottenham, Liverpool and Arsenal fans writing and acting in the film, when everybody else was Chelsea, you could expect that.
Blue's not my colour. Right, okay. So now we're in Nick's driving Liam, and he's giving him the news that he's, met June, who Liam used to go out with, and she's had a kid.
And he thinks it's his.
And he thinks it's his, yeah.
Which is not really something you'd like to be told in the afternoon, being driving back to.
Especially after just signing for Newcastle. Because, maybe thought it was a new beginning, but it's a new beginning with a past, a shadow of a past, which is interesting.
Rather a twist.
Yeah. And here's...
I like him clapping. Do you see that? I never understood why Nick was clapping.
Well, he's kind of so pleased he's done the deal, because I don't think, I don't think he thought he could do the deal,
it's one of my funniest moments of the film, that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here we have the old taxi driver from Goal 1 with a country and western track or something in the background.
Well, you know what they're like up north.
Liam's obviously sat there completely fed up, wanting just to think about what he's about to go and do. And he's meeting a taxi driver who just wants to chat to him about playing for England and playing for Newcastle.
Yeah. And he's we also know that from the previous scene that he's on the way to he wants to see June. So
this happens all the time to famous footballers not having to pay taxi drivers.
Is that what happens?
Yeah. Fred Astaire and Bing Crosby never once paid a London cabbie ever.
You're joking.
No. And I think it was Bing Crosby who, when he was never recognised, would start singing White Christmas in the guarantee he wouldn't pay a cabbie.
It's genius.
This is the moment that I think no young man would like to have to go through.
Well, there's June.
Obviously, he's been told by... she knew that Nick would tell Liam about having met Bella.
It's an interesting thing about this house, and the reverse shot of him there, you see how green it is, and you see once they get into the front room. We shot this in October, beginning of November, and we found the one house in Nottingham that had evergreen either side of the house, and with the sun on that day, it was, it passed for summer, as they say. Or early
It's
summer.
important because this is meant to be sort of April time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so early summer, spring, early summer, so it worked. So this is where she's explaining that why she never told him about Bella, his daughter.
And of course you can see dollies and toys, and you really kind of filled that room full of kiddie-wear, didn't you?
I've just noticed actually on that wide shot of her, that pot plant looks like someone just pulled it out of the garden. Knowing Russell, they probably did. Most annoying thing about this location though was they'd moved a piano into the side room, and every time we had a little break, George Tiffin would go and play it.
Director of photography.
I mean, I love people playing instruments, but in the middle of the day,
I think here's one of our favourite moments of the film coming up, where June goes off to get Bella.
You see that pot plant? Look,
Yeah.
It looks like someone just pulled it out of the
And
garden
Liam picks up the dolly
and throws it away.
and then throws it over his shoulder.
Yeah, it is a good moment. And here's the lovely Bella.
She was an absolute joy, wasn't she?
Oh, she's gorgeous. I mean, for a little girl of 3 or 4, whatever, she was...
To respond and look at that smile.
But she got into it. She wasn't a camera watcher, which was pretty amazing.
Unlike Peter Heslop.
We'll come to that later. Absolutely.
Stay. It's okay.
I think I'm ready. I think as we wrote this, we really sort of felt this is how somebody like JJ would react.
Yeah,
just go into
absolutely.
a sense of shock and just want to get the hell out
Well,
of there.
that's what he
and
plays so
reflect.
beautifully, doesn't he?
Beautifully.
Yeah. He really does. He's speechless. He doesn't know how to react.
So introduce us to these 4 lads.
Well, these are the 4 Geordie boys who, featured in previous
Goal.
in goal, the original goal. But now they're just decide, in the process of painting up the van in the background to go on their World Cup jaunt, their journey. and talking about what stays on, what happens on tour stays on tour, and
We establish here Phil the Runner, who's a bit confused about what they're talking about.
he thought they were talking about singing. They're talking about shagging. But it's great because you see them, in their kind of workshop, and it kind of re-establishes them very quick. And as you said, it
I keep
establishes.
seeing Phil in things like The Dark Knight and cracking up.
I know he's in Dark Knight.
Can you believe it?
He's on the
Band
boat,
of
isn't he?
Brothers and just all sorts of films.
I know he gets work.
Now
doesn't
this
he?
was shot in Nottingham outside the flat I was living in, so and I had 5 weeks of heavy cold, so it gives me kind of shivers.
Yeah.
But of course, yeah.
I mean, but we're now really, for a man who's a drinker, having just met a child he never knew he had, it really sends him into a bit of a spiral. And, I like scenes like that. It's kind of a man's kind of emptiness and pain.
Multi-millionaire footballer sitting down in the street next to a phone box,
There you go.
drinking out of a half bottle of Bell's.
Absolutely. Yeah, your flat was round the corner from that, wasn't it?
It was literally out there outside my flat. I think I probably did that.
On purpose.
Yeah, locked out.
Now, this is an interesting scene because these days you cannot shoot at airports. I mean, even in terminals. And we actually suddenly realised that the interior of motorway service stations
On the M1.
on the M1 actually look like, modern airports. They got all the, food places and concessions and shops and stuff like that. So, and actually, have these kind of glass buildings and stuff like that. So we faked it. It wasn't an airport at all.
Not at all. And all those people are actually motorists as opposed to frequent flyers.
So now he's talking about, he's just told his mate Charlie about the baby, and he goes, well, what's you going to do about it? And
This is a kind of a pivotal moment of the movie, actually, here, because we reveal what JJ in his research, particularly, reading Tony Cascarino's book about some of the antics of some footballers that have drinking problems, would do, which is fill up water bottles with vodka.
Yeah.
And be drinking vodka during the day, and hence the inspiration. And here's Piers Ashworth, second director, second unit attempt of filming the lads.
Yeah, we sent him
going
up
under
to
the Humber
Hull.
ferry.
Sent him up to Hull for the day to shoot a ferry. He took it very seriously, Piers, didn't he?
Yeah, the four guys on the ferry.
Ah, now.
And this is your favourite moment of the film, Andy? Your favourite lady who you particularly were very keen to cast yourself?
For that reason.
Joe Emma. And Phil's obviously completely hypnotised by that pair of norks.
I like the way during that shot there, Giles cut it with talking about a couple of those pies, pet.
And a bag of crisps.
A couple of those pies.
He's like, well, he really is the runt of the litter, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's established as the...
Well, I think it gives, it brings, you've had the comedy element earlier of them in Romania. So, but that kind of goes out of our two boys' story. And what's nice about the Geordie Boys is it keeps the comedy going.
The juxtapositions of both, isn't it? And here, the two guys have obviously landed in Germany, are being driven to the England team location and talking about being focused and referencing their two situations. One with discovering he's got a child, and the other having fallen in love. And of course, JJ drinking out of his water bottle.
Neat vodka out of his water bottle. Yeah. So it's a transition scene, and it starts to move forward. With they've talked. Up to this point, apart from the opening, we haven't seen any or heard much about football. It's become, and this is where it kind of starts coming back.
Again, this scene here is part of, due to JJ's research, the footballers that do have a drinking problem would cover themselves in plastic to sweat out the alcohol during the training session. But before they'd go out there, what he's going to do now is basically throw up, which basically has the effect of charging his body full of adrenaline and then drinking a really sugary drink. And Charlie obviously knows this is his routine, brings him a sugary drink for him to ingest after vomiting, which then gives him a spurt of energy on the training park. So
I also that's one of my favourite operated shots in the whole movie. It comes across. You see Liam going into the bathroom. Charlie comes in. It tilts down to pick up the water bottle, and it all plays as one shot. Fantastic operating, brilliant. So here we are out of that training session, and again, we shot this late afternoon to give it, you see the little lights on. It's almost like they're doing a kind of late afternoon kind of training session. It just gives it a little more drama, a little more depth. And this is the first time we see Tamer as the
hard England
trainer.
Coach. Or...
I mean, what's a Turk doing there is beyond me, but there you go.
And this is a great little sort of... It was almost like an ad-lib, wasn't it? From Leo, basically throw it in there so we had for coverage reasons.
Yeah.
Showing that the aneurysm that's to come is obviously starting to manifest itself.
Well, yeah, I mean, he says, doesn't he, that he's over the concussion, but that shows you there's still an ongoing...
Now that's Jackie Degg, one of the former Page 3 girls of the year from England.
And I didn't get that. I mean, she's got no chest.
Okay, moving right along. And the contrast is not Page 3 girl massaging Charlie as the phone rings.
Shrek, yeah, what's he called, the girl?
Shrek.
Shrek. I'm having a massage by Shrek, which is funny. And this, again, we see that he didn't know when he was going to see Sophia again, and suddenly she says, I might stop by in Germany. So, again, it's part of the kind of, we've seen the emotional kind of thing after the accident, and now this is the...
There he is, so totally stark bollock naked now.
It was so funny when we shot it, because Leo was actually wearing a kind of sock that kept falling off. In the end, he went, oh, fuck it, and took it off his dick, and then did it completely naked, which I thought was pretty brave of him, actually.
But you can actually... as he jumps back on the table, there's a
little flash.
Yes.
Well, we actually did lower the picture, so you can't. And then we're out of that, and this is really where... This is the kind of preamble of before the World Cup starts. But what's quite interesting is, in the way we put this scene now, it was after the massage where Sophia says she's going to come to visit Charlie. And what's quite nice is Liam says, to June, if you want to come over, I can sort it out. And she kind of rejects him. And
well, I think, Liam, he is quite slightly envious of
yes, exactly.
Of Charlie having fallen in love.
I think it's good. I mean, it is a good juxtaposition, but there's also quite a significant thing at the end here. I mean, he sees drinking a beer, and June says, lay off the booze, and it kind of really hits home with him, I think.
Well, she knows him so well.
Yeah.
And it really resonates with him.
Yeah. Telephone conversations in movies. We cut quite a few out, actually.
It's part of modern life now, isn't it?
Certainly, yeah.
And now we get into the World Cup. Very excited. Love this montage that was shot there with the help of Michael Apted, and Chris Newman, who did a tremendous job. This, for me, really makes the movie really seem huge.
It does. It really does. Well, it puts it gives a sense of scale and puts it kind of in perspective. The whole, it's not just our people's story; it's a world story. The World Cup is a world story.
Indeed. And of course, the lads are really not having much luck.
They're breaking down already. But I mean, it integrates, all this footage integrates well. That always reminds me of Monty Python, that shot.
It does, doesn't it? This is one of my favourite parts of this whole montage. Yeah. All the nationalities, the fans, the whole colour of the World Cup, the greatest show on earth.
There you go, and there it is.
That was the real one.
And I think Mark's done a fantastic score on this. It's really kind of uplifting, and you feel part of it. The whole montage, you feel part of that. Hey, this is the greatest show on earth.
Absolutely. Of course, here comes our lovely friend Margot Stilley.
We love Margot.
Who Nick immediately falls in love with. And once again, after he's been rebuked by June using the same line, he tries the same thing.
What I love about this scene, as soon as Margot had done it, she was so unconvinced about her English accent. She came up to me and said, "You will cut it out, darling." And I said, "No, it stays in the movie."
Now the lads, their van's broken down, so they've not made it to the game, and they're having to watch it in a motorway service cafe.
Absolutely.
Here's our friends Paul Kemsley in the grey suit and Mike Ashley, former owner of Newcastle United in Newcastle shirt, doing what we thought was a great job, bringing some real football people into. Mike used to be vice chairman of Tottenham. Sorry, Paul did, and I was incredibly surprised and impressed at how well he did delivering these lines.
Well, I think, once we told him just say it as if you're telling a joke to your mates in the bar, then he was fine with it.
And completely convincing.
What really annoys me about this scene is the way Matt Burrell's trying to kind of get into the conversation. Oh, I'm joking, Matt, sorry.
Another camera looker. And here's Margot. And once again, Nick's trying his best. And finds out that she's JJ's Liam's sister.
Yeah. We should probably at this point give a big thanks to Leicester City Football Club, who they really helped us out with a lot of stuff, which is fantastic.
And here we go into the montage of football sequences, which are really very, very exciting. Seeing all our favourite faces and favourite names from all the different competing countries. Charles did an amazing job editing all this.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And then, but we had to really study, because every time, different matches, you see these kind of FIFA things on the background. There were different colours for different stadiums, and all the bibs for the substitutes and the photographers all changed between venues, and really had to, be up to scratch on what was done. A lot of research. And
you saying that Russell Rosario, our production designer, did a good job?
No. Only as a Romanian.
And here are the lads, of course, their tickets are deemed counterfeit, and they end up in another bar for the Trinidad fans.
Well, that's right, the England-Trinidad game. And I try to shoot this whole thing like a kind of, good, the bad and the ugly, Sergio Leone thing, but in the end we didn't have time to really play it out too well. But it's quite fun.
It'll be on the DVD.
Yeah.
It certainly will be.
Yeah, well, the idea is that they go into somewhere they think is hostile, and actually it's kind of friendly and good fun. So it was just kind of being a little playful with that.
Isn't it great seeing all these famous?
Oh, Ronaldo
and then talk us through this next shot. How you designed this?
Well, we designed a shot. I wanted this shot of him kind of completely flaking out and hitting his head on the floor like that. So we actually had to build a rig where we could, with the camera on it, we could lower him down. And there we actually put a stuntman into Canal in Nottingham, and I went to his funeral last week. No, I'm joking. It was so dirty.
So this is England-Sweden going, and all the Swedish girls walking. Look at the surprise on his face. But they end up obviously having lots of drinks, and there's Phil's actually going to get some nookie.
Absolutely.
Great goal by Joe Cole.
Well, this was a bigger. The Swedish scene was a bigger scene. I mean, it had one of the girls doing a strip and singing and stuff. But in the end, we just made it all part of this kind of. We want to condense the first, the qualifying section of the World Cup into a kind of one big montage where you see the beginning of the World Cup and the journey of our Geordie boys, and the fact our heroes are kind of marooned on the bench for a little while, and then
they are matching the backgrounds of the benches there.
Yeah, there you go. And then basically they're told to go and warm up, and it's the first time they'll actually get on the pitch to play in a World Cup.
You will have critics and haters just saying, well, they weren't actually really there. It's quite obvious you're playing for win the World Cup, but
yeah, but you know what?
Right.
It's a but it's not a documentary, is it?
Exactly.
This is a movie.
I think you did a tremendous job in synthesising fact and fiction there, visually.
We can't have fun with that. What can you do? Anyway, this is where Kuno has a reminisce about. He sees that Charlie and Sophia are, very much in love, and he's remembering his failed relationship from the previous film.
I think from memory the score is now 2-2. Rooney comes off and our two boys come on.
No, I don't know. The final score's 2-2. Sweden have gone 2-1 ahead, and then Joe Cole gets a free kick here.
Is that what you call poetic licence?
No, because the score was 2-2. But and then Leo nods it down.
JJ smashes it in.
JJ smashes it in. And they saved the point, and the point was what gave them qualification. Yeah, of course you're playing with, facts and fiction, but
Yeah, of course, you don't see the real Rooney and Beckham in there, but that's
half the fun of it. Mind you,
this scene we got to cut out of the film where she turns around and you did actually see her.
Norks.
Yeah, painted with the Swedish blue and yellow paint. And there's a scene coming up where they're in the corridor, and you actually just would have seen his face covered in blue and.
Well, she actually buries his face in her
breast.
Yeah. This was a fun thing to shoot as
Great shot.
And then we go outside and
see they're rocking.
Obviously, that's where they've gone after the corridor. So finally, Phil, the guy who was going to be miracle lucky if he got laid,
is the one that did get miracle lucky.
Yeah, he did. So then we. What's quite nice here is we go into 2 or 3 little stories here. The Charlie and Sophia. Now it's out in the public. I mean, her being a starlet, him being a star footballer. Obviously, the press are interested.
That took 27 takes to do, I remember.
And
you got very cross.
I lie in bed dreaming of.
This is one of my favourite scenes. The 3 lads in the restaurant, and of course Nick's being totally and utterly politically incorrect as usual, as an Asian,
dreaming of an injury.
And Liam's obviously totally disgusted with him in that regard.
You see, one thing that really annoyed Kuno, because he had the accident, he had to keep wearing this cast, and he hated it on his hand and his wrist. It's pretty funny. But this, at the end, is one of the funniest moments, isn't it, when Nick ad-libs?
Yes, the last comment about I'll get you home by midnight and have you back in bed by midnight. Not my bed, that would be odd. It was a complete ad-lib, and you can see JJ's reaction here where he bursts out laughing at the end of this scene.
There's actually also that reference to Spurs, isn't there? Where he jokes that he feels sorry for him, that he's signed for Spurs. In the present climate, maybe it's not. It's quite pertinent. Here it is. I'll get you, girl. What does he say, girls?
I'll have you back in bed by midnight. Not my bed, that'd be odd. And then they crack up. Here we go.
Total ad-lib.
He is so funny. And one thing you don't see, here's Nick's dancing there with this blonde. And what you don't see at some point is her slap him across the face. Do you remember?
Yes, I know, that was pretty funny. And that's Aldo Zilli's daughter in there, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yeah, there they are dancing. He says something, and she slaps him. But I think there it is. That's the slap. And here's Teresa Sorbova.
God, I'm amazed you remembered her surname.
So I texted her a couple of days ago.
I'm sure you did. Is she back in Czechoslovakia?
She's in Paris Fashion Week this week.
Of course she is.
And of course, here she is chatting up JJ's character Liam in the way that girls do chat up footballers, the bastards.
Funny that, eh? Who'd have thought it?
I love the way she gives him this little look.
Yeah, it's terrific, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very cheeky.
Look at that.
No, there's that one. It's like, come on then. And I love the kind of cutting in this, because you've gone from her giving him the come on in the bar, and of course we've seen them leave earlier on, and as he slams the door, this other door's open, so you've got this totally parallel kind of what's happening to them with the girls at the same time, which is really fun.
He snuck her back into the England Players Hotel, which
I just love that cut when he slams the door and he opens it. It's the other guy.
I just love that dress.
Yeah, well, we shot this all handheld really quickly and got him to do it about half a dozen times without thinking about it. I didn't give them any direction in between. I wanted to just keep it like go at each other. And they did it really well.
And then we had the famous line, "I'll be all over you like a rash," which she didn't really understand.
But she says, "Is that good?" And JJ's reaction is just fantastic. Not that.
And then of course she goes, "Do you want to talk about it?" And we cut to him after having said no, them talking about it, which is absolute genius.
It's a great cut, isn't it? Really good cut.
Brilliantly done.
It's classic. It's opposite of exactly what he said he didn't want to do.
She's been the good listener.
But it's also not what's nice about it is he really we've only seen him react so far. We haven't seen him talking about what he's feeling. And
a lot of these lines were his.
Yeah?
During rehearsals, yeah, where he was talking about, made him feeling really lonely.
Now, this scene I had to cut
To
mercilessly.
ribbons.
Cut to ribbons.
Well, it was absolute porn.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Tasteful.
Particularly the overhead shot of them on the black bed,
Yeah.
where you had the double that was doubling for Kasia, who was a girl that Leah was actually. That shot there is not Kasia.
Yes, well, I had to, for me, doing love scenes are all about the gaps, and I'm afraid once it got decimated, there were not many gaps left.
My God, you've not even got the overhead scene at all.
No, we're allowed.
My goodness.
I was told to take it out.
They actually, remember Don't Look Now? They did actually have sex during the scene.
That's
No wonder
what
you had
they
to take
say.
it out.
That's one of my biggest inspirations for love scenes.
The director's cut on the DVD, I'm sure, is going to be
Nick Rogue, that was. But yeah, my director's cut will be full of filth, yes.
full of filth.
Yeah, look at his chest there. Isn't that magnificent? That's a comedy chest, isn't it?
But was that combed or was that actually stuck on by?
I borrowed it
Naked
from
girls.
Austin Powers.
Of course, the England van here is being towed away after another calamitous night. One of them wakes up and smells, obviously, Phil the Runt had fallen in that sewage-infested river the night before.
Exactly. I mean, what Russell did brilliantly. I mean, originally they were going to go with Tour on the Taxi, but he kind of turned the van into a kind of character in the movie, which was really clever, I thought.
He asked me if I wanted it afterwards. I said, what the fuck am I going to do with that van?
I think you would have taken it to Cannes, didn't you?
Oh, that's right, we're going to take it to Cannes.
Not staying it, obviously.
I liked your Sven double here.
Yeah, well, we try to keep him. I mean, he only works tiny little bits in kind of backgrounds. You've got wide shots like that, and you're not looking too close.
I think you're winking at the camera because it doesn't look a bit like Sven, really.
It does, actually. The only thing is, this guy doesn't have much of a chin, but he does look like him. You just know he's not.
He loves playing him.
Oh, he's gone to Mexico apparently now.
He hasn't.
Yes, he's moved to Mexico because Sven's there. So, and then we shot this at that hotel. We kind of turned it into this kind of
Beautiful.
fancy kind of restaurant and stuff like that. I love the way the camera, moves all the time on this kind of around them and stuff. It keeps it kind of romantic.
It was very hard to do this one.
Yeah.
You had that circular dolly.
Is he going to play for England?
It was, but Russell put those kind of sparkles in and stuff like that. It was, it's supposed to be kind of top-end restaurant thing. And this is, of course, where they surprise Liam with the news.
That they're engaged.
They are engaged. Yeah.
And the emerald ring is revealed, which will have a payoff later.
It will do. And of course, captured by the press.
I do remember that we did that scene over and over again because she kept saying, I just found out you just got a sister or something rather than a daughter.
No, that's right, yeah. That's right, she got the words. I mean, that's what was kind of really endearingly sexy about Kasia, I think, is that even when she didn't quite know the sense of the sentence or the words, that kind of brought something to her character.
She's so natural.
Yeah, fantastic.
Here's a taxi driver now looking to get the free tickets for the qualifying round, having had that promise made to him by JJ back in Newcastle.
That's right, when he got out in return for the free taxi ride. I mean, are England players allowed to have their girlfriends at the? Yes, I think they were
Wags
in Germany.
were all
weren't
over. More wags than footballers. I
they? So
think.
that is authentic. You see.
Somebody worked out there were more wags than players. I'm not sure who was doing what the last World Cup. But I doubt Fabio's going to allow it happen again.
I don't think he is.
23 players and 26 wags. You tell me about what was going on there.
How does that work? So
This is the Ecuador game,
it is the Ecuador game, yeah.
and it's a game that England need to win to progress to get to.
Well, it's the first knockout game, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And our lads are going into a VIP area for the first time in their lives, probably.
They got burgers and hot dogs and stuff like that. Beers.
And about to act totally inappropriately.
There's Santi with a cast on his hand as usual. You know, the funny thing about that is when he finished his last day, and he kind of just disappeared, and then we found this cast just thrown to the side. Broken. You couldn't get rid of it quick enough.
These guys all breaking into God Save the Queen.
Oh, it's so funny. What's lovely about it as well is they're slightly kind of out of time and out of tune, which kind of brings even more comedy to it. Victoria there. Two ex-England managers in one shot. But what's interesting about this game is, for me, in terms of the movie, is we've had this montage at the beginning of the World Cup, and this is the first time it starts to get really serious, and we kind of changed the whole tone of the way of the football here, the way we cut it, the way we scored it, and it becomes quite a kind of niggly, nasty game, which kind of pans out and makes sense later on with what happens to Charlie. You know, it's a kind of culmination of that kind of slight nastiness that's going on.
Yeah, it's high drama. I mean, they could have gone out.
Yeah.
Just to state the obvious, but
you know, as when before the World Cup beginning was like a celebration. This is where it, really the heat gets turned up.
The business end of things.
Absolutely.
And there's lots of fouling and niggling and
he really played up to that, and I think it's a change in tone of the movie. I really like this sequence because it does change the tone of the movie. You know, where before we've been quite light, and the only kind of darkness we've seen really is JJ's kind of journey. But this is where, for me, there's a kind of sea change in the kind of tone of the movie, and I think it really takes on a slightly different tone, which is fantastic.
And here we're approaching now one of what's going to be the seminal moments of the film. Joe Cole coming off, being replaced by Charlie, and he's not going to have an easy time of it.
Well, as I say, he's like been thrown into the battle of this tough game, and
it really is a war, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a war. And he shows a bit of kind of flashness, and then someone lobs a thing up to him and wallop.
Absolutely clattered.
Absolutely.
Elbowed on the back of the head, and then bangs his head on the floor.
Yeah. And what we try to do here is, then start to mix up kind of, reality with, with concussion and flashbacks and, just everything is like a jigsaw jumble in his head. And we played with the grading and, really tried to give it a kind of, different style of its own. So it's jagged. That's what we're trying to be jagged.
You definitely achieved that.
And then you keep cutting back to reality. And
there's a moment like that in any given Sunday, and I think you did a far better job than they did with Jamie Foxx's moment.
Yeah. And of course, this sets off a train of events, because as we know, he's been hurt before in that car accident, and thought it was just a simple concussion.
And he's been having those headaches, and just banged his head again on the floor. And we think now he's okay.
Yeah, he kind of protests he's fine and wants to go back out there. Obviously, he's been subbed by now.
I do love this next line where Tamer sits on the bench with JJ and Liam asks him, is he all right? He doesn't know who he is or what day it is. And he says, why didn't you tell him he was Pele and send him back on?
That's based on an old quote, isn't it, or story of Scottish manager or something similar. Anyway, it's fantastic. I love it. It's a great joke.
And I love this because you're looking at it from Charlie's POV, and you can see
he looks bewildered.
Things aren't right.
Yeah, he looks bewildered. I
mean, I've been like that after about 16 or 17 pints in Nottingham, actually, and it isn't pretty.
It's not pretty.
This is one of my favourite moments of the film. I think you, me, and Giles all took a very brave decision here in not doing what you do on television, which is to show what happens to the ball, but to leave the camera on David, which I think is worked very, very cinematically.
It's iconic as well.
It is.
It really is. I think it's an iconic moment for this film as well.
Well, he's an icon, and
that would be it.
But look at that! It's tremendous, and the score's tremendous underneath it.
Yeah.
And I think people are quite happy just to watch this unfold and enjoy it for what it is, rather than just seeing another goal.
Yeah,
at the back of the neck.
I think it's. I just say I think it's so not TV. It
Exactly.
really kind of takes it into another realm. As you say, and also the kind of scale of the score as well, and also dramatically you've gone from this really dark thing, Charlie being clattered, and then suddenly it's uplifting and hope again, and you think, oh, they've won, they've come out of that bad game, with a result. So it kind of misleads you from it. You think everything's fine now, and that's why casual conversation. And
then we hear a distinctive phone of Charlie going off. Tamer being particularly annoyed as usual.
So Sophia on the end of the phone, and for Charlie, that's Charlie's phone that Liam's picked up. And what's coming up, I think, is one of the best, operated shots here. This low wide angle, bang, and straight in. I mean, it's so economic. Sean Savage, who was the operator, it's just a brilliant shot. You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
just genius.
I remember this moment, though, that you made us do about 40 times.
Yeah, but I love the way she plays this, because she said we were so happy. You really believe her. You know what I mean? And then suddenly her world comes crashing down. Those dorks on the right, the German hospitality.
And then we're in the ambulance, and it's
This was really fun to shoot as well. We did this all handheld, and we weren't actually driving the ambulance at the time. We were just rocking it.
Poor man's process.
Yeah, poor man's process, but it's really effective. I mean, it just keeps, he's breathless, and again you think, oh, he's fine. The paramedics have got to him, and he's, come round, he's fine. Even though they're still worried about him, but I just like the style of it. It's really, the kind of handheld style.
Brilliantly acted here by
Leo.
By Leo.
Yeah.
That aneurysm fit, which.
And it's fucking scary when he did
terrifying.
it as well. Yeah, absolutely.
I always have a lump in my throat when I watch it with an audience. And then we hear the rain.
Mm-hmm.
You realise, oops. And this has happened in real World Cups. Footballers have died during World Cups before.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, footballers have died on the pitch. Well, that Scottish guy last year, wasn't there? Which is always terrible. But this was shot in a lovely little kind of picturesque English church. Again, on the outskirts of Nottingham, but I think she looks absolutely stunning here. She looks like an old, kind of like an old movie star.
Mm.
Not old, I mean, classic.
I know what you meant.
And to get all our cast in black suits and ties was quite a thing, I think.
She did them wrong. I mean, to think this English is not her first language. She's actually Polish, been brought up in Italy.
That's right.
And she just did an absolutely tremendous job.
Yeah, she did.
If she doesn't become a movie star, I'll buy you lunch.
Well, I mean, I think when people see this, she shows it to people. I mean, God, she's. Expect Leo and JJ to be good, and they're fantastic, but she just kind of came out of nowhere. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. I also love the way George Tiffin's lit this scene. It has real depth, real cinematic depth, and everything. That's Gary.
And the pleasure machine.
I wasn't going to mention that. And this was a really hard shot to do because we had rain machines, and it was, getting into winter then anyway, and
I just don't know what that cup is down the front.
Russell,
The European Cup.
Yeah, in blue.
Yeah.
He's being a Chelsea supporter. I think that's pretty obvious what he was trying to do there, wasn't it? That was it.
There's the pleasure machine again.
And
And this is our locations manager.
speaking, which we never hear. But he did a lovely job here. I mean, any time you see him in the movie. But
Been a fan of his since Billy Elliot.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic actor. I mean, it's great to have people like him and John Salthouse, and you're just really good actors who can play these kind of small parts, but they bring some real gravitas and weight to it, which is really brilliant. I love that shot. It's like something out of The Godfather.
So you can say it yourself.
Yeah, even though I said it myself. I was giving Tiffin another compliment, to be honest. And this is a way of tying up a few little loose ends, like the Geordie boys thanking her for inviting them because they didn't really know her, but obviously met her in that VIP box. And it's quite nice to bring everyone together.
And here's kind of the what do you call it? The closing of the arc, I suppose, of his alcoholism, and that we're seeing him, refuse having champagne, and Mal asks him about, is it real water in the bottle? And it is.
It is. And that's I remember we were kind of, these two really helped us out of that hole, didn't they?
And Anya's, of course, seen that. June's watched him.
Yeah. Which really, because she's obviously,
seen him refuse the champagne.
Yeah, which is a really good moment. Because she's obviously still in love with him.
Of course she
But
is.
he's a bad boy.
And here we're about to go to a scene that, when I watched this with a preview audience, everybody started, mainly the females, shouting abuse at me.
Yes. Because it's really...
Because they've just been crying their eyes out with Charlie's death.
Yeah.
And what is about to happen now with, Liam going up and meeting his daughter for the first time, had them really reaching for the Kleenex and howling.
And then
calling me all sorts of names.
Calling you names because they're so pissed. They're so pissed off that you've
made them cry.
We've pulled their emotional heartstrings.
Oh, dear. I mean, this.
But this was a fantastic little scene. I mean, we shot this in one long take, and the little girl didn't know we were filming it, and we just kind of, we put JJ out there with her, and it's just so touching the way he.
You can see what he's just. Yeah, he's so well acted there.
Yeah, but the way she comes to him, I mean, this gets everyone.
Yeah.
The whole look.
And they're watching this tonight with all the cast and crew, and there won't be a dry eye in the house at this moment now. And she looks at him. Mm-hmm. You just well up, don't you? Mm. Look at that. Look at that.
I know. It's just, and this is all done in one take. Look, she's shy and bashful, and
of course, you can only imagine what's going on in his mind. And of course, this is being watched by June, who then goes to, make up the triumvirate, which is a budding little family.
And which is also, whereas, before Liam has been slightly envious of Charlie's, not envious, but, his falling in love, and, this is like the flip side of it. Mm. She sees everything that could have been with Charlie, and, which comes into play in a minute. Mm. This little scene where she gives Liam the gift.
The envelope, which kept falling open during every take that she gave it to him.
Again, I think these two act this scene so beautifully. I mean, again, it's it's the kind of thing that could be easily a little bit kind of overplayed and stuff, and it's really subtle and well done between them. I think it's lovely.
So she gives him the envelope. We don't know what's in it, but she tells him that she wants him to have this, and he'll know when to open it.
Mm. Interesting thing about this exterior scene, and it's actually a little more pertinent to the shot afterwards, but we shot this on Guy Fawkes night in Nottingham.
That's right.
and as
Peter Haslam looking at the camera.
Peter Heslop, the driver. But we're trying to film this and with sound, and there is fireworks going off the whole time. It couldn't have been worsely planned by production to do a night exterior in a city on
fireworks night being like 4th of July in America. So
yeah.
And of course, the little girl says that's me when she's passed the photograph across, and you can see Peter Heslop just looked at the camera
there
twice.
He goes. But she had lived at that kid. It was so sweet.
That's me. So beautiful. And then we're back to Germany, because obviously he's been given special dispensation to attend the funeral, and it's the quarter-final against Portugal, which I was at actually.
Yeah, and it was the same old tale of nearly.
Horrible,
but not quite.
Yeah.
And here we, have a stadium announcer saying they're having a minute's silence for Charlie Braithwaite. So again, it's mixing fact with fiction. But
you're going to have some people saying, "Well, why weren't they wearing black armbands?" But that would have been a bit difficult to try and You get them to do in real life or
A post.
digitise, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been. But it's again, there's a lovely score here from Mark Thomas, where, you know, as this minute's silence going on, you start to bring in the music here, and you see JJ in the tunnel
Trying to pull himself together.
to go out on the pitch. So he's kind of, the idea is he's you know, on the bench again, but he hasn't even had the.
He can't go out there.
He can't go out there yet. It's just too raw for him, you know. So you get in the kind of juxtaposition of, you know, the full 90-minute game before extra time, and JJ, you know, really trying to pull it together. And I thought JJ again did a fantastic job in this scene as well.
Marvellous job.
Yeah.
That was it shot in the one of the corridors at Derby or somewhere? Was it?
No, it was Leicester.
Was it Leicester?
Leicester, but we put in all the background, see all that's kind of CGI fake crowd in there, which really works well. And the other thing I really like about this, again, you know, you've had the uplift of the World Cup montage, you've had the darkness of the Ecuador game, and now suddenly this football it's very dry. You know, it has the commentary of John Motson, and you suddenly feel that it's not, you know, kind of, you know, a montage. This is really happening now, and you know, suddenly becomes very real, and I think it really heightens the kind of tension and the drama of the piece as well. And Rooney gets sent off, which I remember watching at the time thinking, he didn't do anything, but when you watch the footage, he stamps Carvalho in the nuts, doesn't he?
Oh, spoken like a true Chelsea fan.
So now it's 0-0, the end of regular time, and we go into
Of course,
the overtime.
poignantly, Charlie's seat is empty there.
It is. And I think this really integrates well, though, the whole thing. So this, again, you know, this is the only real bits of this match we show, apart from a little bit of montage of the 90 minutes, is this suddenly you're in overtime here. You know, overtime, I mean extra time.
Sounded American then.
Sounded very American, didn't
Here comes an assist.
it? An assist. So, you know, we kind of picked out some of the best bits, the most tense-filled moments. There's a moment here where you think Portugal have scored. Great goal, but it was offside. So, which, you know, this all happened. So, you know, we kind of integrated.
That linesman looks so like the Chelsea manager,
Scolari,
who was then the Portugal manager.
He was, yeah.
It was actually Gene Hackman.
That's what they say. So there was kind of near misses for both sides in the extra time, and
once again we're going to penalties, which seems to have been the plight of England down the road.
yeah. Well, this is the point before they've blown the final whistle, where
I like the way you've done that little nod towards JJ.
yeah, with the hand, the cut from Sven's hand going like
There's an even
beckoning.
better one coming up though, where when he's choosing who to take the penalty, nods and
He nods,
JJ
yeah.
nods back.
So Liam comes on, and you know, and what reflected in the commentary, you know, was and John Motson again did a great job, kind of redoing his commentary, but adding references to Liam Adams and how they brought him on possibly to take a penalty, and how he came on in the Sweden game and saved the day and stuff like that. So again, it gives it a really authentic ring. I think, you know, that whole kind of juxtaposition. And now penalties. That awful moment.
Oh, good and bad to look.
Well, for some reason we can't ever get that right.
Those creepers. Here comes that little Sammy Lee. And then there's the look coming up between Sven there and Liam. Yeah, okay, I'll take it.
I know. It's
Beautifully edited.
yeah, it is. And then we see him kind of, as they do, kind of locking arms and stuff. And I thought this was a really, you know, what happens now, which you and Giles did, was, you know, put in the very, very early on, wasn't it, when you were doing a kind of rough cut, which was
Nice
the
split
football.
screen.
Split screen, which I think works really well, because it just, the whole process of taking penalties can take 10, 15 minutes. In this way, you know, you do it in a real kind of montage way.
Sixth
where you
of the
can-
time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic. And again, Motson did a great, you know, kind of redo of some of that.
Threw him the first
He
take.
did,
or so.
yes, he did throw him completely. But we pieced it together.
You don't say those.
You don't save those. And then Liam comes forward to take his penalty.
Which, as an audience member watching this for the first time, do you think he's going to score? Or does this have tragedy written all over it?
Well, I think it may be. No, I don't think so. I just think maybe there's a sense of dread of what he's going to. Like
But he
anyone
shouldn't have taken the penalty, because if his friend had just died, he'd been to the funerals,
Yeah.
his head wouldn't have been right.
Well,
So
exactly.
this is...
He's kind of predestined, I think, and I think you know that, but it's kind of, this is inevitable for most English footballers at some stage in their career. They'll be part of an England team that loses a penalty
I think that
shootout.
was dear old Jamie Carragher's PK, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. You're right,
I
actually.
think a Liverpool fan, I probably shouldn't have mentioned that. Love you, Jamie.
And there's Beckham crying. Aww. And they basically, what happens now, they know, it's all Ronaldo has to do is score the winning penalty, and there he's kissing the ball.
Absolute lady boy.
Ah.
There he is.
The
The winker, as Russell calls him.
Even watching this now,
Probably the most
though,
unpopular footballer I
but the
could
way he
think of.
does the little check on his run, I hate it. Sorry.
Yeah.
It is. It's still...
It hurts.
It hurts, yeah, look, there you go.
Oh,
And of course Robinson
you
was going to
can't.
go the wrong way, wasn't it?
oh God, it would be Ronaldo.
It would be. Had to be.
After having got Rooney sent off and winked and...
And there we are, dejected England players again. So we haven't
We
veered.
used to have Adagio for strings, but there's a attempt to score load up, and this is, the old the Platoon soundtrack, and that worked really well. Markovitz did a great job, but it really was, as Shankly said, football is not a matter of life or death. It's actually much more important than that.
Yeah, which is the great football quote of all time, probably.
You can only imagine what's going on in his mind. Actually, you probably can't, can you? Got England knocked out of the World Cup and probably going to do a pizza commercial now,
Like Gareth Southgate, wasn't it?
Why does it always happen to England?
It does. And it'll happen again, no doubt, at some point.
Shush. And this is one of our favourite moments as, filmmakers, where he takes his top off to reveal the R.I.P. Charlie meat, which again chokes people up.
It does, and the way she acts this as well is fantastic.
Those
The
eyes.
eyes are full of tears and stuff like that. But we haven't veered
Look
from
at
the
these
truth.
shots. Look at Gary Neville there,
I know,
and Frank Lampard, just
Fantastic,
absolutely distraught.
completely distraught. Look, crushed. John Terry.
Is that the
crushed.
guy who missed the penalty against Man United?
Yes, it is. Okay, you scouser. Just rubbing it in. Gary Neville, hey? But we haven't veered from the truth in the sense that this happened. This happened, and they went out of the World Cup.
I love this shot, although it hurts, of Beckham. If you keep your eyes on him and just look at him, shakes his head and just is completely bewildered.
Yeah, I think that works really well.
And then we cut to a moment of solace of JJ's character, Liam, post-shower, having a...
He's not only lost his friend, he's lost the game, and, he must be feeling completely crap. But, out of this...
And not drinking, of course.
And not drinking. And just when you think that maybe,
He's going to have a drink.
Fall off the wagon. I love the track on this as well. It's a
Beautiful.
song called Cold Engines, which just kind of works really, really well because it's sad, but it's got hope in it. It's got some beginnings of redemption in it, by Phil Campbell, Scottish singer.
What a moment then to, see your late mate's engagement ring in your hand and know exactly what Sophia had been trying to tell him to do.
Well, which he kind of knows. It's actually one of my favourite acted scenes in the movie. I mean, you think he's on his own, and you can just read it, you know, exactly what is going on in his head and his mind. It's fantastic.
There's a little smile there,
Yeah.
which is hope, you know.
And the picture she gave as well.
Yeah.
And then this is epic, you know, the shots of the sea next to Newcastle. He's on his way back.
There's Tynemouth.
Yeah. That's just fantastic. He knows what's got to be done, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I also love the way they act this. You know, you can have proposal scenes that become too sentimental, and this is not sentimental at all. It's not desperate either, which
No.
is, you know, I think both of them as well. I mean, the way she reacts and listens, and yeah. But he just knows, and he's worried he's blown it and stuff like that. It's lovely seeing this.
I like that when she tells him that's not very difficult.
Yeah. I've never been more serious than anything in my life.
And she's believing now. She's buying it.
Yeah.
And again, JJ had a lot of input on his lines here.
He did, and you know, one thing about JJ is he's always trying to simplify things in a good way. You know what I mean? It's, you know, he doesn't want to cut things just for the sake of it. He just wants to keep it simple and human.
Very, very intelligent actor.
Yeah, very intelligent. I mean, it's not, you know.
He can't play football for part, you know, and he's an Arsenal fan too, which.
Well, yes. What does Russell call their ground?
Oh God, I'm not saying it.
Oh, that's right. I'm not saying it either. So suddenly, she's obviously accepted with a tear,
No,
but in a nice
really?
way. In a really nice way, and
Beautiful wedding.
beautiful wedding. And again, it was,
And having the run to the litter there with the Swede with the big tits
yeah,
is.
everybody's there now. And again, we were really, really lucky with the weather when we come to the outside scenes later, because you know it feels like a summer wedding after the World Cup. It was deep darkest late October, early November. So we really lucked out in that respect. But yeah, and this, you know, now the film has come out of its darkness and there's light and hope. And
I still think we should have had "You'll Never Walk Alone" at this point. You know,
really,
when you walk through a storm. Look at
What?
that.
well, by Jerry and the Pacemakers, their version.
Or the cop.
Oh,
There's Margot with Nick, who's obviously finally pulled.
exactly. It's kind of never resolved in words, but I like the fact that
Actually, that for our American viewers means hooked up, just in case there's any confusion.
what resolved.
Pulled.
Oh, Paul. And
Kuno doing another sentimental crying scene again very well.
he does it very well. He's trying to. I mean, what's nice about this?
Some of those hats that those girls are wearing. I mean, look at the one right in centre state.
I know,
centre
but
frame
people
now.
wear shit like that at weddings. They wear stuff like that. It's England. Can't wear a hat. A girl can't wear a hat on a wedding day. What's she gonna wear? But I like the way he's not very comfortable making the speech, and he's had to look on the internet, and you know, you're supposed to be charming and you're funny, and you know, shows a vulnerability which is really sweet, I think.
I was just really excited about the flowers. Epic.
They are truly epic, those flowers, aren't they? Russell beside himself. I think he got a local florist in Nottingham who'd never had someone give him £1,000 to do that many flowers. She went nuts.
Well, this is a great performance from Nick.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Absolutely.
You actually feel when he did it, he's actually almost ad-libbing it. It's actually, you know, it's incredible the way he does it.
He's immensely talented as well.
So I love that line. I don't have any friends, I'm an agent. But that's what's interesting. He's almost like, you know, in the way the Geordie guy has, you have the run to the litter. He's the kind of, out of our main guys, he's the slight run to the litter as well, isn't he?
but very endearingly so.
Endearingly so. You kind of love him for it.
And here we are approaching the end of the film. They all feel good, raise the glasses, and they're outside on the steps, intercut with the actual World Cup final itself, which Italy won, and the confetti, which I thought was a pure genius of yours, cut with the confetti thrown during the World Cup final here.
Well, there's a nice connection there, isn't it? Celebration.
And Margot's blue dress, of course, which also helped to match.
Yeah, it's like a double celebration, and I think it's, as a kind of resolve, it works really well. We actually had a couple of scenes after this, which
which may be on the DVD too, but
we got rid of those.
And of course, the Swede ends up with the with the bouquet.
And this last shot, I love the last shot because it's almost like a wedding photograph. Bang.
Nick pulling himself into frame, pulling Margot out the way. And there you go. Congratulations, Andy Morahan. Tremendous movie.
Thank you, sir, and congratulations to you for writing it and supporting me on it.
We had a great time, and thank you to all our wonderful viewers for watching and listening.
Thank you.